Traditional mixed orchards. On the outskirts of villages and fields, they're an ideal habitat for a wide variety of creatures all year round. Especially in autumn, there's an overabundance of food, but even in winter, many animals manage to survive here. In the late summer, the traditional mixed orchard really comes into its own. Clear proof of why it was planted in the first place. Plums, cherry plums and pears ripen in harmony. Bees now find hardly any blossom nectar. They have to satisfy their energy requirements with ripe fruit. But the fruit must have a sugar content of more than 50% to be suitable for bee nutrition. The Williams Christ pear is popular as it's very sweet and aromatic. It's not only a delicacy for human beings. Every autumn, the windfall fruit so favoured by bees also enriches the diet of other industrious insects. But humans also get to harvest what they need. Man has been growing fruit in mixed orchards since the Middle Ages, but the harvest is hard work. Today, working traditional orchards is rarely profitable. But some families still continue to nurture the tradition of the communal harvest. Even though it takes weeks for everything to be picked, sorted and processed. Profit isn't the most important thing about a harvest. Often, it's all about the experience in nature and a sense of community. It's very different for the meadow inhabitants. For field mice, ripe apples are a valuable supplement to their usual diet of grasses and seeds. From time to time, sheep come and graze in the field under the trees. They're also lured by the scent of apples, but they can only eat fruit that's already been bitten into. Their mouths don't open wide enough to fit in a whole apple. Down the centuries, since traditional orchards were first planted, man has cultivated thousands of different types of fruit by careful grafting. Harvests are not always this plentiful, but every couple of years, nature smiles on humans and animals alike. This hedgehog isn't really an apple eater, but when they're ripe and sweet, he'll also try a bit. He'd actually prefer to hunt worms and insects. Inquisitive sheep don't worry him while he's foraging. After all, who's the one wearing the prickly spines? The windfall fruit also lures deer out of their forest shelter. Because food will soon be very scarce. Windfall fruit slowly decomposes, returning to nature in the form of minerals as part of the great cycle of life. The rotting process releases warmth, making the apples glow under thermal imaging. Mice seem to enjoy the fermenting fruit. Their body temperature of 37 degrees centigrade makes them glow more brightly than the decomposing apples. Heavy, sweet scents attract butterflies and other insects. The admiral fortifies itself with the fermented juice. A migrant butterfly, it flies hundreds of kilometers south in the autumn. When the admiral sets off, the next round in the dance of the seasons begins in the traditional orchard. With harvest time over, the days start to get shorter and the sun loses its strength. When the morning mists lift, the orchard is revealed in a new guise. Now it is richly coloured, from the glowing orange of the cherry tree leaves to the red and yellow foliage of the pear. The bright colours of the trees are symbolic of the diversity of this very special habitat. After the first hard frost, the leaves lose their hold on the trees. Winter is nigh. Now's the time to stockpile, and the nuthatch is a master of the art. He studs an entire tree with seeds, grains, and small pieces of nuts. These old trees with their furrowed bark offer plenty of good hiding places. And to make sure that others can't steal his stores, each storage place is carefully sealed. Red squirrels are famous for their partiality to nuts, but hazelnuts are terribly slippery. Nothing in the orchard goes to waste. Although some creatures might bite off more than they can chew. Just a tiny crack would be enough to get it open. But no, this one's too hard. Unlike squirrels and nuthatches, the green woodpecker makes no such provision for winter. Year-round, it feeds almost exclusively off ants. Walnuts are ideal for winter stores, but first, the remains of the old shell must be removed. Only clean nuts are stored. They don't rot as quickly and can keep until spring. The squirrel's favorite delicacy grows in almost every mixed orchard. Walnut trees are robust and undemanding. All that effort works up an appetite, and fortification is often urgently needed. Walnuts consist of 2/3 fat, which quickly stills hunger. And as usual, there are always takers for any leftovers. Amid frost and cold, autumn in the orchard comes to an end. Stinging nettles growing in the wilder parts of the field attract tree sparrows. Like most birds that stay in Europe during winter, they switch to a diet consisting almost exclusively of grains and seeds. Once it starts to snow, it will be more difficult for many to find food. But not for the nuthatch. He has taken precautions, and now his painstaking stockpiling is paying off. He defends his well-stocked fridge with all his might. After all, this is about survival. No one is allowed to get too close to his tree. Only the big woodpecker can chase him away. The traditional orchard is a cultivated landscape that's very important for the environment, as it offers a home to many wild creatures. But to get it to yield anything, it must be looked after. The best time to prune fruit trees is in winter when they're bare. It's hard work thinning the treetops. Not many farmers bother anymore. The cut-off branches are especially useful when there's little else to eat. Bark and buds contain important nutrients, perfect provisions for passing roe deer. And the traditional mixed orchard offers a lot more in winter. The outermost twigs still bear deep frozen food, pears or apples that were beyond the reach of humans. Fieldfares are grateful recipients when they arrive from the far north to winter here. In some years, the winter is long, and it can take until March before the sun is strong enough to melt the snow. Now the labyrinth of pathways used by mice under the snow is laid bare. Robbed of their cover, the mice seek shelter in their extensive underground caves. Mice are grass eaters, and the fresh green shoots are very tempting. But beware, the ermine is a ruthless enemy. It's partial to mouse for dinner, and its body is so slender it can even fit into mouse tunnels. It still has its snow-white winter coat, but signs of its future summer colouring are already showing on its head. With the warmth of the first rays of sunshine, a sea of wood anemones shoots out of the earth. With them, the first insects reappear. Spring arrives in the traditional mixed orchard, and with it, the cycle of life begins anew.